Okay, hi people. This video is going to be about piercings and how they're not a big deal. Um, I guess this is a video for, if I'm using my comb to tease my hair, it's like pointing. I guess it's to parents and my parents when I have them watch it. Hopefully they will. No, they'll probably be like, if it's about piercings, I'm not watching it. Oh well. um, well, first off, let me just tell you what I want. I want spider bites, which is two right here. Like, I have one already, and then just one next to it. Not a big deal. Just like, your earlobes. Yeah. How it's like considered one piercing. Like, you're not like, oh, I want one hole right here and one hole right here. You say, oh, I want my ears pierced. I mean, it's actually two holes, but it's like considered one piercing. Kind of like that. I mean, and I'm 14, just so you know, everybody. If you haven't watched my other video, not a big deal, I guess. And piercings aren't permanent, like tattoos. Yes, they do leave a scar. Not gonna lie about that. But it's not that noticeable, really. Like, I've seen people with piercings, and I mean, as long as you're like not up in, like, as long as you're only if you're up in their face, like this close, you can't really tell. And like when you're going for a job interview, that's what a lot of parents' excuses are. You're not gonna get a job with that hole in your face. Okay, if you don't have it anymore and it's like closed up, no one's gonna be like, if you're trying to be a lawyer or whatever, some kind of job, they're not gonna be like, she had her lip pierced. She is not getting the job just because she had her lip pierced. Even though she doesn't have it anymore, she's not getting that job. Yeah, they're not going to do that. And, like, other jobs, most jobs don't care. Like, restaurant stuff. And, yeah, it's not a big deal. And I think as long as you're mature, responsible, which I am, to an extent. I can be immature. I can be irresponsible, but to an extent, I am mature and responsible. As long as you take care of it right and stuff like that, like I said, just being responsible, I think you should let your kids get at least one facial piercing. I mean, if they're like 11, 12, no. Like, I just think that's too young. Like, 13 is kind of pushing it. I don't think 14 is that big of a deal. At least 14. Let your kids get at least one facial piercing, which I already did for my 14th birthday. But 13, I guess it all depends on how responsible they are and stuff like that. Because I know people that are like 13 that have piercings. I guess it all depends on how, like I said, again, responsible, maturity, and stuff like that. And I already know how to clean my lip piercing, take care of it, and I paid for like half of mine. I paid for like I think like 25, and then it was like 45, and then they paid that, and then like $5 for the cleaning stuff at like Walgreens. Like, you buy unscented foam dial soap and mouthwash, because you're supposed to mouthwash after every time you eat for a week. Clean it twice a day every time, or not every time. You have to clean it every single day twice. So yeah, this is to my parents, just so you know. I'll like switch off and on. Like, I'll be talking to my parents, and then I guess I could be talking to everybody else. Just if you want your lip pierced, and you want to show your mom, like, look, now I know how to clean a lip piercing, blah blah. Well, they'll tell you anyways. Yeah. So I'll tell you, like, if I'm talking to parents or my parents. Yeah, I guess I'm talking to my parents, or both, I guess you could say. Yeah, I know how to clean it, mom and dad, and I've had it pierced before. It's not anything different. It's not a big deal. And as long as I pay for it, I mean, obviously I'm not going to save up right now because you're saying no. But if you were to say yes, I would save up and pay for all of it this time. I'll get $50. Yeah, I can get $50, maybe. Um, yeah, and I mean, I make good grades. I have all A's, 2 C's, which is one is 77 and one is a 79. Which those two, well, all those A's make those C's B's, I guess you could say. So I have like a B average. So I have like, I guess, A's and B's, practically. And I don't get in trouble at school or with the law. So, like, what's the big deal? Like, I mean, if your excuse is you're not going to be able to get a job with a hole in your face, what's the difference? There's one right next to it. It's still a hole. It'd be different if it was my nose, like 2 different holes in different places, but they're all like the same place. So yeah, you should let me get my other lip pierced. Yeah, and now I guess I'm gonna start talking to parents and my parents, and I'm also gonna talk about gauges in this video, because that is so not a big deal. Oh my god. Yeah. And in this one girl's video, she mentioned, because she persuaded her parents when she was 13 to get her belly pierced, and one of her excuses for it were how she's like, it's her body, and she gave them good reason why she wanted one. She showed them how like all the stuff she knows about it, all the pros and cons, not just the pros. She basically told them, like, she does know the bad stuff, and if she's willing to risk the pain and all the hard work of cleaning it, because some piercings are hard work to clean, then what's the big deal? I mean, obviously, she really wanted it, or I guess I'll just talk like her. Obviously, I want it, you know, so I'm gonna risk all that. What's the big deal? It's not your body. So if I don't get a job in 10 years because of it, I mean, you're obviously, never mind. That's, why not even say that? Because you will so get a job. They're not going to just, like, not hire you. I think I mentioned this video, because I made, like, 2 videos already. So I mentioned it in the other video. I don't know if I mentioned it in this video. How? Yeah, I think I did. Yeah. Let's not even talk about that. So yeah, especially lower piercings, like your belly button, or your hips, because I want my hips pierced. It's not a big deal. I mean, obviously I'm going to get a job unless it's like a bikini job. They may not hire me, which they probably will. Most people like that model bikinis or whatever, they have them pierced or whatever. But no one really gets jobs like those that have piercings. But I'm not going to. But yeah, that's definitely not a big deal. No one can see it unless you're wearing a bikini or a belly shirt or whatever. You know, no one can see it. Like I said, facial piercing, and I guess it's kind of a bigger deal. I don't know why I do think it's kind of a big deal, if like, in a way. But then again, in a way, it's not a big deal. So I kind of understand where my parents come from. But what I don't understand is, like, this is kind of as, like, one piercing spider bites are. Same with snake bites. Same with, like, your 2 nose piercings. Like, some people get on both sides. I want that, but I won't get it anytime soon. Yeah. So, not a big deal. And let's talk about gauges now. If you don't know what gauges are, they're just, like, stretched earlobes. You take a taper, I guess kind of like this. It's like short and then it gets bigger. And there's, yeah. And I've had people tell me if you don't go bigger than a 2 gauge, they grow back. And I've had people tell me the most you can go is a 00 or 0. The most I would go is probably a 0 or 00. Yeah, which is probably like about that big. And they will go back. May take, I don't know how long it takes. So I've heard months, or like a month, and I've heard days, depending on how big you go. But if you go like this big, they don't go back. But people have told me that people have gone like this big, and they've grown back, like bigger than what it says to go, and they do go back. I mean, it's not guaranteed, but it is guaranteed if you don't go bigger than at least a 2 gauge. You can probably go a little bit bigger than that, but I'm just going to say 2 gauge. They will go back. As long as you don't stretch too fast. A lot of people do that like idiots. And I'm sorry if you're watching this and you stretch too fast, but you're an idiot, because you're supposed to take a taper, start off with a 16 gauge, maybe a 14. I think a 14's okay, but it hurts really bad. My friend did it. She said it hurt like crap. 16. It's like not even that bigger than an earring. It's like probably like 2 earrings put together. um, Stick it in taper, keep it in for a month, clean it, you know. Then you can go to a 14 gauge after a month. Keep it in for a month. So you keep each taper in for a month. And yeah, so this is to my parents now. I know how to take care of my gauges, and yeah, and I will supply them all, or I'll do chores and for money. You're not just gonna give it to me freehand. But yeah, so I do know about this stuff, and Mom, I even showed you. I did like this for like 30 minutes. I showed you videos of this guy that does tattoos professionally and piercings, and he knows about this. Um, and I showed you articles, so you even have proof. And I don't know why you still won't let me. I guess you say they're gross, but I mean, as long as I like them, who cares? Well, that's just like saying, oh, you're not wearing that orange shirt because it's ugly. I think it's gross. Well, if I like it, then I can wear it. I mean, you wouldn't care if I wore something really ugly and stupid to school. You wouldn't care. Then why do you care if I have gauges? So what? They're gross. I mean, I like them. I think they're cool and they're not permanent, like I said. And another thing you said was, you'll go bigger. And you said when I get a piercing, I'll want more piercings. And yes, that is true. Like, okay, if you don't let me go bigger than a 2-0 gauge, then I'm not going to go bigger. Unless I become a bad kid and rebel against you, which I probably won't because I'm a good kid. And like a piercing, I don't have any more piercings. Yes, I ask you for some. Yes, I want more. But do I get them? No, because you don't let me. And even if I want to, I can't. I'm not old enough. So yeah, this is the parents too. My parents and parents, other parents. Yeah, and if one of your excuses are you want more piercings or you want to go bigger, engages, as long as you don't let your kid go bigger or get more piercings, they're not going to. And like I said, unless they like rebel against you. But if they're nice enough to respect you and not get a piercing behind your back, their first piercing, then obviously they're not going to get another one. Because if they really wanted their first, if you haven't let them get a piercing yet, obviously they would have already got it. Like, I can go have my dad give me a piercing right now. Because I don't live with my dad. I can go get a piercing tomorrow if I wanted to. I'm not going to. That's disrespectful. But, I mean, you can. I'm just saying, like, another thing is, when your kids are talking to you, actually listen to them, because my parents don't listen to me when I talk to them about gauges or piercings. I think if they would just listen, they would understand. Because you were a kid once, this is to everybody too, you were a kid once, and I'm sure you've had a piercing. My mom had her nose pierced and her tongue pierced. I mean, I'm sure you've had piercings, or if you haven't, you've known what it's like being a kid, wanting something that you can't have. And just put yourself in our shoes, you know what I mean? And another thing is, piercings are, I guess, in some perspectives, I don't know if that's the right word, in some ways, it's expressing yourself. I don't know how I express myself with piercings. I guess I do, I don't know. I think they're cute. I don't get them to be bad and stuff and all tough. I don't care about that. I don't want people to think I'm bad and tough. Yeah, some people express themselves with piercings, and you know, it's a free country. Why can't I have a hole in my face? You know what I mean? Like, what's the big deal? It's not a tattoo. It's not permanent. So yeah, just think about that, mom and dad, and think about it. Think about that, other parents. I will see you guys later.